Hi, how are you? I hope you're well. Welcome to Mel's Musings. If I asked you the question now, what is the most important thing for you in this moment? In this moment. For me, it's actually taking a moment to entirely immerse myself in the mindful practice of just being here, of enjoying this beautiful place, looking up at this fabulous blue sky, the sun shining on me, feeling the cold on my face. I just watched a beautiful flock of birds going over. So what for you is the most important thing in this moment? For me, that is going to fill my tanks of nourishing myself for the day, for having just experienced this, taken a moment to just be, focus inwards, and then I can get on with my day. It's like filling the well, plugging yourself in, recharging like we do with so many devices overnight. But what do you do to recharge yourself? So how many of you actually thought, when I asked that question, you thought of a million other things? It was interesting. I said to someone recently how amazing they were, and they looked really beautiful, and they immediately reacted with, no, I'm not at all. And they immediately started this whole tirade of putting themselves down. Now, we can all do that because we might feel embarrassed. It might be our self-esteem is low and we just can't accept that compliment, whatever the reason. If you just stop for a minute when someone gives you a compliment and think, and this is what I said to them, if you trust that person in many other ways in your life, and then you reject what they say about you, what you're actually doing is you're saying, I don't trust you. I don't trust your opinions on anything. I don't believe you. You're a liar. So if it's somebody that you have trusted for ages and then they tell you something that makes you feel uncomfortable, it makes sense, doesn't it, that it's time to look inward as to where that rejection comes from when it talks about you, when that sentence is about you. So when I pulled the next card, cherish self, cherishing self. The word cherish actually means to care for, to love, to nurture. And I expect you cherish and nurture and care for many others around you. But isn't it funny how we so often neglect ourselves, and then guess what? We get shocked when we fall ill. When this amazing thing that is our body, that we have been gifted with, starts to break down because we haven't cherished it, we haven't nourished it. What do you do with your car? Do you take it in for a regular MOT? If you have a car. If you have a bicycle, do you make sure the tyres and the brakes are sound? And yet so often we neglect our own self. We neglect our mental health. We neglect our emotional health, our physical health, and our spiritual health. We do it for everybody else and we neglect ourselves. And then we're surprised when it starts to break down in any of those areas. But if we just spent more time cherishing self, cherishing us, being grateful for this amazing body that we have. I had a really bad burn not so long ago, and as I watched it heal, I was in awe that my body had it within itself, with some help, but it healed, and I thought I would be scarred. They were talking about plastic surgery, and it just healed, and I can barely see where it was anymore, and I was in awe of my body and what is within it, what are all those mechanisms that come together to help it heal. How amazing is that? So how about making yourself the most important thing in this moment. Because guess what? If you're stronger and you're healthier and you're happier, wow, have you got so much more to give? Because you're coming from such a strong place. Whereas if you're slowly getting weaker and weaker, you find you can't give quite so much, quite so willingly, with quite so much love. So how can you cherish yourself today? I was just looking at the fields here. They've just ploughed them ready for the seeds. And I thought, as the new year starts and the flowers are starting to come through as we head towards the spring. So what furrow can you plough now, ready to plant a new seed of how you're going to cherish yourself more? How can you make yourself more important to you in this moment? And wow, can you then change the world? But change your world first, make that strong. And then, wow, you can make miracles happen. So be well, lots of love. See you soon. Bye.